around like that at age 58. So I want to get that out the way first. But I wanted to get to a bigger point. Because the time comes, somewhat pun intended, for us to take the gloves off when it comes to Jake Paul. Now, unlike people who worked with me, unlike people who are friends and colleagues, what have you, I didn't find it funny.
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank.
That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him.
Yes.
He recognizes that he's too big for him.
Stephen A. Smith criticized Jake Paul for agreeing to fight Gervonta Davis, arguing that Jake is simply too big for him. Smith explained that Jake continues to pick opponents who don't truly test his skill, calling this matchup one-sided and lacking real competition. According to him, Jake consistently avoids fighters on his level, showing that his boxing career seems more focused on easy wins than genuine challenges.
That was Mike Tyson. Now you're going into the ring against a cat that's 228. He's a young lion, and no matter what questions may exist about Jake Paul and his ability to box real boxers, because we haven't really seen that yet from him, we don't question his power. We know he's got power.
Stephen A. Smith asked Gervonta Davis's coach which fighters he believes truly deserve to face Tank next. The coach didn't hesitate to respond. He stated that anyone who has spoken negatively about Davis should be the first to step into the ring. He mentioned names like Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, fighters who have publicly questioned Davis's abilities. For the coach, this isn't just about rivalry. It's about respect. He believes these men need to experience firsthand what Tank's power feels like. The goal isn't revenge for their comments, but rather to silence the critics who keep doubting Davis's dominance. From his point of view, it's time for the talkers to get humbled inside the ropes and witness the reality of Tank's unmatched skill.
Who do you want to see? You, as a guy that's in his trainer, that's like a father figure to him. You're training him all the time. You know him. Both y'all from the streets of Baltimore the whole bit. Who do you want to see Tank fight next?
I want him to get all of them that ran their mouth.
Give me the names. I need names, Calvin. I need names.
You already know. We went down to, we're working on the big four. It was Garcia. That's the first one. Roma, I hope we get him soon. Shakur, he's going to get it. He know he's going to get it. It's just Bob is in charge of that. You know what I'm saying? Bob know what he's doing over there. You can't tell Bob how to run his game because he's like a vet at this. He's been doing it for so many years. That's going to happen. All the fights that we'll want, they have no choice. They're going to take the fight when it's time to take the fight. It's just right now, who's going to take the fight? That's the question.
Comedian and commentator Aries Spears didn't hold back when sharing his opinion about the fight. To him, the upcoming event feels more like a show than a true sporting contest. Even though he called it a circus, Spears still places faith in Davis's strength and precision. He predicted that Tank would finish the spectacle early, expecting a knockout by the third round. What's striking about Spears' view is the mix of criticism and respect. He recognizes the absurd promotional buildup around the fight, but still admires Davis's ability to close the show decisively. His remarks reflect how many fans feel, that this matchup is both ridiculous and captivating. It's pure entertainment mixed with skill, and even skeptics can't deny the chance that Davis might end things with a brutal statement before the fight goes too far.
Fight that's coming up is Tank Davis versus Jake Paul.
Oh, this is such a circus.
Yeah. Look, according to BetOnline.ag, Gervonta Davis is favored minus 240, Jake Paul's plus 190. So more than twice the odds for Davis. Davis is a lot smaller, but he's a real serious fighter.
I'm predicting a third round knockout.
Ooh.
Third
round knockout.
He's out of there. Listen, I don't know what's the bigger joke, that fight or Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather.
We'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, this is honestly just disappointing. As a boxing fan, to just keep seeing these circuses happen over and over again.
I don't know if the rumor's true, but I heard Floyd was talking about coming out of retirement to fight Crawford. Now that's got some panache to it.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
but
it would be.
I think Floyd will end up taking a loss.
Finally.
That's the thing. He'd mess up that record.
Yeah. And I would respect him for it because we know how much he's tried to protect the record. Take the risk. This is what great fighters are supposed to do.
Yeah, but it's interesting because people were saying that Terrence Crawford should retire because he's, 43-0 at this point?
Okay.
He's like 37 years old. I personally don't think
But he still got the goods, though.
Oh, he's got the goods.
Yeah, he still got the goods.
Because Canelo was a monster. Crawford had been dominating for a while.
Right.
And like he had only had 2 losses, one of which was Mayweather, very early in his career. But this whole like Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis thing, just like, because Gervonta was supposed to fight Roach. It was supposed to be a rematch because it was, I believe, a draw last time.
Yeah.
So you go and fight Jake Paul instead? I'm sure it's a much bigger bag. I'm sure it's a much bigger bag.
And clearly that's what it's about. It's the bag, you know?
Yeah. I mean, pretty soon they're going to have Denzel Washington fighting somebody. Like, they're going to start putting like old men. I mean, they're already putting old men in the ring.
As long as before the fight, Denzel looks at his watch and goes, 16 seconds. I'm with it.
Stephen A. Smith, known for his outspoken personality, says boxing needs to move beyond these spectacle-driven matchups. He believes Gervonta Davis should focus on meaningful fights that pushes limits rather than exhibition-style bouts that do little for his legacy. Smith specifically said he'd like to see Davis rematch Ryan Garcia, a fight that still feels unfinished. He also named Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson as ideal challengers who could test Davis mentally and physically. Smith's point is straightforward. Fans deserve fights that truly matter. These are the kinds of bouts that define champions and restore the competitive spirit of the sport. He doesn't want Davis's talent wasted on non-serious events, but showcase against real contenders who can bring out the best in him.
Me personally, I want to see him fight a Garcia again. I want to see him fight a Teofimo Lopez, somebody like that that's got some power, somebody that has the potential to inflict some pain upon him, because I don't know if anybody can do it. And I've totally lost it with David Haney. After what I saw Ryan Garcia do to him, even though Ryan Garcia was a bit bulked up.
A growing number of boxing analysts are losing patience with Jake Paul's approach to his career. They argue that his recent fight choices follow the same formula, selecting opponents who grab attention rather than provide genuine competition. Many experts believe these matchups are designed more for publicity and viral moments than for building Paul's credibility in the sport. They point out that he often avoids fighters who are close to him in experience, weight, or technical ability. While his events attract millions of viewers, critics claim that the entertainment value comes at the expense of authenticity. The showmanship overshadows the sport, and the narratives feel more scripted than spontaneous. For traditional boxing fans, this is why Paul is still seen as more of an entertainer than a legitimate contender.
Performance. Jake Paul won the fight. But yeah, that was that. This time, Jake Paul is to take on Tank Davis. Tank Davis, he was recently in the news for being arrested for a domestic violence incident involving one of his kids' mother. He was alleged to have slapped her about the place. The charges were later dropped, to be fair to him. But yeah, that was when he was last in the news. What is interesting is just a couple of months ago, Tank Davis was saying openly that he'd lost his passion for boxing and that he wanted time away from the sport. There was speculation that he might even retire as he was experiencing extreme mental fatigue from boxing, depression, and there were mental health concerns over him. However, I guess the opportunity to earn a truck full of money, fighting a completely worthless exhibition fight against Jake Paul was enough to make him change his mind about boxing. Funny that, isn't it? But you know what? I'm not even going to waste your time or mine critiquing this utter nonsense. Suffice to say that this so-called fight we're talking about is an exhibition, and it pits Jake Paul, who is a cruiserweight, by the way, weighs in excess of 200 pounds. And Tank Davis, who is, he was the WBA lightweight champion, who weighs in at about 135 pounds when he fights. So that's a disparity of some 65 pounds. In old money, that's about 4.5 stone. There's also a significant difference in height. Jake Paul is roughly, 6'1", 2. Gervonta Davis is 5'5" at best. So, there's a height disparity there of some 8 inches. And once again, this is Jake Paul showing total disrespect to boxing.
There's a growing belief that Gervonta Davis's decision-making is now driven more by profit than by prestige. Analysts suggest that his team is prioritizing massive paydays over fights that would enhance his championship legacy. The planned matchup with Jake Paul only reinforces that idea. To many, it's further proof that boxing has become more of an entertainment business than a competitive sport. Tank's reputation for explosive knockouts ensures strong pay-per-view numbers, and pairing him with a YouTube celebrity magnifies that financial appeal. However, traditionalists find this trend troubling. They worry that fighters are valuing revenue potential more than athletic merit. While Davis's talent is undeniable, his recent choices suggest that protecting his
after he made 40 million with Ryan, when he make another 40 plus million with Jake,
he's gonna go make 40 million fighting Jake Paul, and then he's gonna come back and fight Lamont Rowe for what? He's gonna come back and fight Shakur Stevenson for what? He's not gonna fight none of those guys.
No, the only way he fight any of them guys, Turkey gonna have to hit him with the Crawford money. Cause that's the thing. You do this for a reason, bro. Like, I get it. You want him to be competitive, but his goal is money. He made 40 with Ryan plus everything in between. Now he get this 40, 50 million plus. He don't even gotta fight no more. So now if you want him to fight Shakur, give me that Canelo money.
Jeff Mayweather, a respected voice in the boxing community, has openly questioned the reason behind this fight. His main concern centers on the significant size and weight difference between the two men. He explained that boxing's weight classes exist specifically to prevent such imbalances, which could endanger the fighters. In this case, Jake Paul's naturally larger frame gives him a physical advantage that can't be ignored. Jeff believes that even with Davis's superior skill, the disparity in reach, mass, and power makes the matchup unfair. He described it as a mismatch that could harm the sport's credibility. For Jeff, this isn't just a fight between two individuals. It's a reflection of how far promoters are willing to bend the rules in pursuit of financial spectacle.
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank, and I mean, but with it being exhibition, makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting, but I mean, it really makes no sense because he's going to be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank's going to probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.
Daniel Cormier, respected for his insight across multiple combat sports, voiced strong criticism of the upcoming fight. He argued that the matchup offers little true competition and an outcome that seems predictable. Cormier pointed out that Jake Paul's size advantage removes any real sense of intrigue, making it difficult for fans to take the event seriously. He explained that the weight gap doesn't just affect power. It also influences stamina, defense, and overall safety. In his opinion, while the fight might spark curiosity, it lacks genuine sporting value. Cormier also warned that boxing's growing obsession with spectacle over substance could damage its long-term integrity. His comments reflect a wider frustration among athletes who feel the sport's proud traditions are being replaced with shallow publicity stunts.
Recognizes that he's too big for him.
Yes.
He recognizes that he's too big for him.
I'm wondering how this even came about. It can't be that Gervonta Davis needs money. That can't be the reason why
he's been a world
taking this
champion so recently. How could he be broke?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he doing this for money? And then why and how is even Jake Paul doing this when no one respects it? Like, I can't think of anybody that respects this.
But Jake Paul has been able to carve out and make his own lane in boxing, and I've never seen anything like it, bro. He literally, I mean, we don't know what weight class he fights in any situation. We just don't know. He kind of makes his own rules.
He makes his own rules.
And it seems like people are playing by those rules. I remember a couple weeks ago, the WBC and the Jose Sulaiman was very upset that he wasn't going to be able to put the belt on the winner at Canelo versus Crawford. That's the thing that's happened since the beginning of the time. Those guys are very powerful in boxing. But with Zuffa boxing, it was almost like that power was getting stripped away. They were very disappointed. But how can you take those sanctioning organizations seriously when they are sanctioning this?
That's my point. That's my point. That's why I think that this whole thing that we have, this boxing and this MMA argument and Zuffa getting into boxing, our argument is misplaced because things like this should not be happening. And the fact that boxing is allowing this to happen is an embarrassment to the sport.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I talked about this before. Like, I didn't know why they were fighting because, I mean, Gervonta Davis's last fight was at
Observers have noted that even though many people dismiss this fight as meaningless, it still serves multiple interests within the boxing business. Promoters, networks, and even rival fighters profit from the controversy such events create. The debates and backlash themselves generate attention, building financial momentum for everyone involved. Ironically, the same analysts who criticize the fight also boost its popularity by constantly discussing it. This contradiction reveals how modern boxing thrives on controversy just as much as competition.
Yet, at the same time, he is going to fight Jake Paul. Now, what I find interesting is how people on one hand are going to criticize it, but on the other hand, try to take advantage of it for their own profit. So Shakur Stevenson, definitely for press purposes, definitely for publicity purposes, offers to get in the training camp and spar for Jake Paul. Spar Jake Paul for the Tank fight. Now, why would he be doing this? It's called copycat crap. Because the last big fight that took place, which was Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, guess what happened? Jaron Ennis went and sparred Canelo Alvarez to help Canelo Alvarez prepare for Terrence Crawford. So, do I think that is coincidental? No, I do not. I think that it is trying to have your cake and eat it too. You are trying to complain and say Gervonta Davis is not a real competitive fighter, that this is a sideshow, freak show fight, but yet you want your name associated with it and you want to participate in it for your own good gain. Let me assure you that when Terrence Crawford said in an interview that he wouldn't fight Jake Paul, that's not a serious fight, and then they said, well, would you fight Jake Paul for $200 million? And he said, I'd be fighting Jake Paul.
The broader conversation around this fight isn't just about who wins. It's about what it represents. Many believe it reflects the growing blur between entertainment and athletic integrity. Jake Paul's rise has shown that fame can outweigh experience, while Gervonta Davis's involvement proves that even elite fighters are not immune to the pull of spectacle. Critics argue that these kinds of events weaken the sport's purity, turning it into a show driven by novelty rather than genuine competition. Supporters, however, say this is simply evolution.
Tank Davis fights at 135. That's 60 pounds size difference. And Tank often weighs in light at 133.5 pounds. You know, he's 5'5". He's not a big guy. Okay, let's be honest, he's tiny. I could literally put him in my pocket. You know, he's a pocket rocket, but he's small. Yes, I know, I went too far. Let's move on. Jake's been fighting a cruiserweight, over 200 pounds. You know, he's 6'1". He's just a bigger guy, you know, a different beast. This is what Jake does. Love or hate him, he knows how to generate interest, get people talking, in his words, do the unthinkable. But guess what? People will tune in. What can I say? The guy's clever. He calls out AJ. The fight's looking likely. Everybody's outraged. Can't believe it. Then bang, he's fighting Tank. The man's half the size. He's done it again. Whether you like it or not, he's a marketing genius. He knows how to keep his name on your tongue. Everyone slated him for fighting Mike Tyson. I did too. He was fighting an old man with health problems. But guess what? I tuned in. And do you know why? Because curiosity killed the cat. And I wasn't alone. 100 million plus people.
That's it for today's video.